I feel like we just did this, Rube.
We did just do this.
It wasn't that long ago, huh?
About 12 hours ago.
Well, the Eagles still won. They won 10-7 in Green Bay.
They didn't take away their field goal or anything.
They did not. I am back in Philadelphia. That's how time works. I was able to make both of my flights and get here in time for this podcast and
You're
Birds
lucky. A
Huddle.
lot of people didn't have that kind of luck.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy. I bet you there's a bunch of people listening to this who were in Green Bay, and I hope everyone makes it home at a decent hour because there were a lot of crazy flight stuff going on.
Yeah, and in addition to that, it was very windy this afternoon here in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
I want to hear about your landing.
A little shaky.
Yeah, a little bumpy.
Yeah, I was able to nap on the plane, so it kind of woke me up when we were getting rocked a little bit.
Okay.
This is the Eagle Eye Podcast, by the way, brought to you by Nissan. Reuben Frank and Dave Zangaro. Eagles are 7-2. They beat the Green Bay Packers, and this is kind of a fun pod because we did kind of our initial reaction to the game. I'm kind of curious if you've changed any of your opinions on what we said 12 hours ago, just with the benefit of thinking about a little bit.
Yeah, I think my feelings about the offense haven't changed.
Mhm.
Disappointing, and there's significant level of concern with the offense. I think I'm probably more wowed by the defense, having
Sure.
a moment to step back and kind of look at what they did. I guess a pretty good play caller, pretty good quarterback. Obviously, they've got some serious injuries in the skill department, but that was look. This defense has been trying to find itself, and they've had some ups and downs, and just the impact that Nolan and specifically Nolan and Jalen Phillips made. These two new guys, one totally new, one hadn't played in a month and a half. And gosh, you look at how young all these guys are, and the Eagles have had 8 different starters on defense who played 4 more games who are 24 or younger. No other teams had more than 5. So, I mean, they are just a really young team, and that tells me they're going to keep getting better. I mean, guys like Makuba and and Jalix and Morrow, and I mean Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis is a little older than that, but they're all just young guys.
Not much.
Not much. I think he's
26.
Yeah. So I think I'm more impressed with the defense than maybe I realized initially after the game. I realized obviously they played well, but they got constant pressure on Jordan Love, even though the sacks again didn't really indicate how much pressure there was. I just think they made life really difficult for him. They played well against the run. The one drive and the one touchdown, it happened, and you'd like to see them in that moment hold them after the Eagles had scored. But gosh, you hold the Packers to 7 in their own building. That hadn't happened since 2018, the last day of the season. The Lions beat them 31-0. Their quarterback was Deshaun Kaiser that day. So that's rare. That's rare to hold that team in their own building, which is a tough place to play. It really makes me feel really bullish on this defense moving forward the second half of the season.
I totally agree. And it was a Vic Fangio masterclass. Even though the Packers were without some of their best skill players, LaFleur's still a really good coach. That offense is tough. And for whatever reason, Vic Fangio has a secret sauce against that coaching tree.
Yeah.
He plays them better than anyone else, whether it's McVay or LaFleur or McDaniel, like all those guys. He just seems to have the answers for them. And yeah, I had the same feeling right now because it was tough on the post-game pod. Like, where do we even talked about it before the pod. Where do we start? Do we start with how good the defense was or how bad the offense was? But if the defense is this good, it can buy the offense time to get better.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be this good every week.
Mhm.
Certainly, they're not going to hold the lines to 10 points or to 7 points. I wouldn't think. If they do, then send Vic to the Hall of Fame right now. But yeah, I think this is not what I expected. I mean, I expected the offense to be rolling by this point and the defense to be still trying to figure things out. And it's been the opposite.
It was fair to expect some pretty significant regression from the defense this year just because they lost so many significant pieces. And look, they were the best defense in the league last year, and they're probably not right now. But we've seen glimpses where you're like, oh, they can be that, and that's a credit to Howie and Vic, and certainly the players, but Howie for bringing these guys in and Vic figuring out how to use them. And then last night in that game, to watch the pass rush get after it the way they did, that just opens up so much for Vic to call the defense in different ways. Like he was blitzing on Monday, but not out of necessity. He was blitzing because he thought there were some fun ways to get after Love even more. And he was under duress all game. Next Gen Stats says he was pressured on 17 of 42 dropbacks, so over 40%. The second highest rate he's seen all season. So he was like, it matches what our eyes saw on the field that he couldn't get comfy back there.
Comfy?
Mm-hmm.
Say comfy? I mean, this is a guy who, and look, I don't think Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback, but I think he's been, I mean, gosh, he came into this game with a 107 passer rating, which is pretty lofty. They made him look pedestrian. And, I think the Packers expected him to play at a higher level in this game at home, even without, a couple weapons that were missing. I thought it was going to be more like a game played in the 20s. I think I picked 27-23 Eagles. Do you remember your score? Did you go lower than that?
I think I was in that range. I might have picked the Eagles 31 and Packers like 24, something like that.
Yeah. It's not the game I expected. And, they're going to face some, I mean, all year they're facing good quarterbacks just because their schedule is so tough. When you face good teams, you're generally facing a really good quarterback. And, if they can, like they had 5 sacks against the Giants, then 3, I mean, 8 sacks for a team that was getting like 1-2 sacks a game. And you think about like where this defense has come. Like Nolan missed 5 games. N'Kobe missed the first 6 games of the season. Yeah, 6 games, right? He's played 4 games. He played a few snaps on defense, special teams. So he missed 5 games. Jalen Phillips wasn't here. I mean, to have all those new pieces come together the way they have, and it's a different defense now. And man, Vic's got the magic touch. Somebody asked me who the best defensive coordinator in Eagles history is, and they've had some great ones. Marion Campbell. I mean, they were the number 1 defense in the league like 4 straight years under Swampy. He was just a bad head coach. Jim Johnson. I mean, they've had some really good. Jim Schwartz. He had a run. Matt Patricia, who's killing it at Ohio State. He actually is a offensive coach now, defensive coach,
defensive coordinator.
Yeah. But man, what Vic is doing is, I mean, this is all-time stuff. To take the youngest defense in the league, although I think BG knocked them out of the bottom spot. They're not the youngest anymore, but yeah, I mean, just to see the growth week to week, the confidence, they got some swagger, and they play hard. Did you catch the video of Jalix calling out the?
It was Morrow.
Oh, it was Morrow. You're right. It was Morrow on the 4th down.
Mm-hmm. Called the inside zone.
Yeah, and
smart player,
and it looked like the running back. It looked like Jacobs tried to go the other way.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
The blocking was set up to go to the left. But man, that's
they had timeouts.
Yeah, and they had time on the clock, I think. But hey, that's their problem. But Vic and Nick and Howie all talk about smart players, and that kind of struck me. I mean, that's to put in that kind of preparation, to recognize that and know how to communicate that to your teammates. I mean, that's big time stuff.
Yeah, a guy who's willing to communicate it. He's a first year starter, former 7th round pick. He trusted it enough to be vocal. And you know what I mean? Like some guys might be like, I think it's inside zone. I'm not going to say it. If I'm wrong, I'm going to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
He with authority shouted it out.
He did.
He's playing really well.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, we probably haven't singled him out enough because he's stepping into the shoes of a guy who just got paid $100 million in Milton Williams. And he's been as productive.
Yeah, no, he's not the all around. He's not going to give you what Milton does against the run, but he's also on a minimum wage rookie
Yeah.
contract. Um, I really like the way he's playing. Um, it's interesting to me that when they played the Giants before the bye, the second Giants game, like their edge rushers were Jalix. Josh Uche had the next, he had like 30 something snaps. He didn't play on defense. I don't know if he got in the game yesterday. Probably not.
He played special teams.
Did he play special teams?
Yeah.
And Patrick Johnson, who they cut. And he played yesterday, but I think he only played, I don't think he played on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played a snap on defense. So you're seeing a complete overhaul of that position. And then you mix that up with, with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Morrow. And I mean, that's like, this is gone from being a weakness early in the season. Jalen Carter wasn't really in shape yet. I think Nolan wasn't really healthy those first couple games he played, first 3 games. Nakobe wasn't playing. He's a linebacker, but he's in that group. It's just completely morphed into something different. And that's not easy to do during the season in midstream.
Totally agree. And you mentioned Nakobe, like what he's brought to this team.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. And Jahad Campbell, it's kind of a weird situation because on its face, you're like, man, you don't want to stunt the growth of a rookie, but you have to play Nakobe. Like he's playing at that level right now. What he brings to the defense, how he frees up Zach Bond, what he's given them in the run game. Like this was a team that got gashed a little bit early in the season. They are not letting that happen anymore. And I think he's not the only reason for it, but I think he's a really big reason why they've gotten so much better against the run. He's playing so well right now that like I'm starting to think about what happens. He's in a contract year. You drafted Jahad Campbell, who I think is going to be very, very good. Nakobe's the better player right now.
I agree. I thought the way the snaps were distributed yesterday was really interesting. Bond played all 68. Is it 68?
Mm-hmm.
Nakobe played 44 and Jahad played 34.
Yeah. And a lot of Jahads were on the edge.
Yeah.
So
I think it was 18, 12, or 15, something like that. But what's the point of looking it up if I just forget what the number said? But I couldn't agree more about Nakobe. Man, he's got some juice to him. And, I thought it would take a lot longer than this for him to get where he is. I mean, that was a bad injury. I mean, there was talk like, will he ever be the same player? I didn't know. He's come back, and he told me the other day.
That's such a significant injury too. Like it was fair to wonder if he would return to that form.
Yeah. He didn't play. He gave me the number 255 days from the day he got hurt to his first practice day in early October. There's something about him, man. He plays with so much joy and energy. And I mean, all these guys do. They, as Nick would say, they love the game. They love to play football, but there's something about Nakobe. There's something special about him. And, I think he played as well yesterday as he did last year when he was, I think, a borderline Pro Bowler. He's just all over the place. I think he might have missed. Did he have one missed tackle on the sideline there? I think it was him. I couldn't really tell. I think it was him. But man, he's made a big difference. All these Georgia guys, like Jalen Carter's rounding into shape. Nolan's back after the injury. And Nakobe. And DeAndre Swift is playing well too. So for the Bears, I was watching that Bears game, and it's like every other player on that team is from played here.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy, but that's beside the point. I don't want to change the subject. But it is an interesting issue. I think they can't let Nakobe go. I mean, how he's going to have some issues. There's a lot of guys that need to get paid.
Guys, yeah.
There's a lot of guys on that defense that are going to have to get paid at some point.
It's like a fascinating off-season topic because they've been so heavy in like all the money is on offense, but now they have all these big defensive contracts coming up.
Yeah.
Like you would think the pendulum is going to have to swing a little bit to the defensive side, but they've been drafting so well on defense that, like, I don't know, maybe you just keep trying to roll with this.
Yeah, Howie had a great plan this offseason, and it seemed a little risky to me to let guys walk who were established, really good. Maybe not. I mean, Milton Williams hasn't been to a Pro Bowl, but really good player. Josh Sweat was, I think, played in one Pro Bowl, but just a really good player. And to let those guys go and just have trust in your young guys. Um, and look, obviously Jalen Phillips is here because the edges weren't playing well enough, but um, that wasn't really the young guys. I mean, no one was hurt. But anyway, I just think it was in retrospect, it was a brilliant offseason plan to get younger, to get faster, to get cheaper, and to start making room for some of these contracts he's going to have to give out.
I have Jahad Campbell's snaps in front of me. From PFF, they had 22 in the box, so 22 inside linebacker. They have 10 on the D line and 2 at slot corner. So I'm going to assume the slot corner snaps were also edge snaps, so 12.
Yeah.
22 to 12.
Yeah, and it was either 12 or 18.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But right now, like he's not. It's tricky because I think eventually he could become a good player off the edge.
Yeah.
He kind of isn't right now.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get him. They're going to try to keep him involved, which I think is wise.
But Nolan played 19 snaps, and that's going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Jalen Phillips played 53 snaps in his first game after getting here. I don't know how much higher that can go. He played more than Jalix. Jalix played 43. I mean, he played the most snaps of their edge rushers. Yeah. So, there's just not going to be a lot of snaps for Jahad Campbell at edge. And if Nakobe's playing like this, he's going to be the odd man out. And it's no knock on him at all.
I know he's been really good.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
What a funny problem for the Philadelphia Eagles to have. Too many linebackers.
It is.
We say that every time it comes up, but it's true. It's wild to think about. They didn't have one of these guys 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They had some guys who were like solid. TJ Edwards was a good player. Alex Singleton was a good player. Oh, by the way, Alex Singleton, did you see the Alex Singleton news? Had surgery for testicular cancer. So we wish him the best. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it was caught with a routine NFL drug test. So, great guy. He's had a really nice career. Undrafted, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Undrafted,
Montana?
somewhere
right?
out there.
Yeah.
Big Sky somewhere. Really good dude. And he's done so much. Like, he does so much charity work. He's got a foundation, raises money for really good causes.
Montana State. Sorry, my apologies.
I love when you get something wrong. It doesn't happen enough. What conference is Montana State in? Are they in the Big Sky?
Probably.
But yeah, so we wish him the best. It seems like he found out 2 weeks ago and he's played.
Yeah.
So we wish him the best. It sounds like he's going to be fine. He seems confident he'll be fine, but it is scary. And certainly wish him
credit to him for putting a story out.
Yeah,
because it's something that people don't want to talk about, but it's cool that he's using it to get some awareness out there.
They're in the Big Sky, Montana State, the Bobcats. Yeah, absolutely. And just he's always been a great guy.
Good dude. Yeah. Anything else defensively that stuck out to you? It was funny. I was in the airport, one of 3 airports I was in today, and a lot of Eagles fans making their way back. And I was talking to one guy, and he goes, "Man, that was an awful game yesterday." I was like, "Well, defense played well." Like, you can choose to look at it like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny. We had comments in the email that we'll get the emails later, but we had some both ways. Like, you guys talk too much about the offense stinking and not enough about the defense. Then we had the flip side of that. Like, you guys didn't talk about the offense stinking enough, which is probably where we want to be because we were trying to strike that balance a little bit.
Yeah. I think I love watching good defense. And I would even say I've always liked, and I was born and raised on, the Reggie, Clyde, Seth, Byron Evans, Andre West defense. And they had some pretty good players on offense back then. Randall, quick at the end. But I always just prefer watching defense.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing is, like, you're allowed to do both.
You're allowed to do both. But like when the defense comes on the field, for me, it's just the ultimate. And when you have a good defense like this.
Yeah, but right now, like, if you're an Eagles fan, which side of the ball do you enjoy watching more? I don't think it's close.
Yeah, and the good thing is the defense, if that's how you feel, they're on the field more. So
A lot of 3 and outs.
yeah, so yeah,
Well, let me ask you about that. Offense, we talked about just how difficult life was for them in that game. Any, like, thoughts that we didn't share last night that's really on your mind?
just that I guess I deluded myself into thinking that the Minnesota and Giants game signaled some sort of like we found it, we got
Mm,
some things figured out, but it did not. And they looked more like weeks 1 through 6 than week 7 and 8, or game 7 and 8,
yeah.
which was also week 7 and 8. So that's kind of alarming. Yeah. They couldn't run the ball again. They only had 13 first downs in that game. It was really 2 plays back to back. By the way, my stats column will run, I guess, tomorrow. I looked this up. I was trying to find the last time the Eagles had back-to-back plays of 35 yards
Mm.
from scrimmage. It has not happened as far back as StatHead goes in the Play Finder, which is now 1978. Has not
Oh, wow.
happened. There was 2 instances where they did it 2 plays, like a play apart. There was a play in the
Mhm.
middle, including the game where Marvin Hargrove had his touchdown catch. Marvin Hargrove, who showed up at the bubble, the Eagles practice bubble used to be right here, right next to JFK. And he showed up outside JFK and asked Buddy for a workout. Marv Hargrove went to Richmond. He's from Willingboro. He was a state long jump champ, Group 3. But it was a great story. He showed up and he said to Buddy, like, you need wide receivers. I can play. And Buddy, he got out a stopwatch and he had him run a 40. And he ran fast and he signed him and he caught a touchdown in his first game on his first target, like a 51-yard touchdown. And I don't think he ever caught another pass, but it was a great story. And I ran into him in Willingboro at a grocery store when I was working at Burlington County Times. And I asked how he was doing. He said, yeah, I'm living off my Buddy Ryan scholarship. But it was a crazy story when it happened. It was like, just showed up one day at practice and said, give me a tryout. How many coaches would actually do that? I said, all right, listen, yeah, we're going to stop watch. And made the team. Anyway, that's the last time it was close to happening.
I just realized I don't have the energy to keep you on track today.
That's fair. I'll try to do it myself.
I just realized I was like, I gotta let him
It's a
go.
cool story, though.
It is very cool. It's a very cool story. It feels like a movie,
It does.
right?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine it happening now. A few years ago, there was a guy who showed up to NovaCare with a sign, and they were like, "All right, buddy, leave."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and he played big time college football at Richmond. Marv did. And I think the fact that he long jumped 23.3 and a quarter in high school, I think helped. You ever been on that Richmond campus? That's a beautiful place. Richmond University.
No,
It's like built on a lake. Like a lot of the buildings are actually
underwater.
on the water. Yeah.
Mm.
Just throwing that in there. Montana State, the Bobcats, by the way. What's your concern level over the offense?
Hi, yeah. I think my big takeaway, you look back at a box score, and I think I'm about to start sending out cryptic tweets for AJ. Like, I think I'm Team AJ. He has 3 targets.
You know,
One of them is that heave at the end. Like, he is too good to be a non-factor in these games. I just don't. To me, it's almost coaching malpractice that they can't get that player involved. What do you? That should be where you start. Like Nick always brings up, players before plays, and what kind of offense do you run? Well, what players do I have? You have AJ Brown. You can't figure out like the brain trust in that building, the offensive brain trust can't figure out a way to get AJ Brown the football. And I
yeah.
know it's not like there's so much dependent on other variables, like what defense is playing, if Jalen Hurts is reading it correctly, if he's delivering the football. Like I get that there are layers to it, but and maybe it's just like oversimplifying things. But how do you have that guy and not get him more involved? Like how do you not just build the passing game around him?
So Jason Avant on post game, he has a theory, and he really believes this. And he was an NFL wide receiver for a long time. He doesn't think AJ physically is the same guy he has been, and he thinks he has not been getting open. Um, and he questioned his effort on that last play. He talked about if AJ goes for the ball a little stronger, maybe you get a DPI there. He said,
It was underthrown, so if he like fights back for it, maybe.
yeah, he said if you don't fight for the ball, you're not going to get a DPI. If your effort isn't like, even if I can't catch this ball, you know, show a little effort, and I think that might be fair. I watched it a couple times. It was a weird play. It was underthrown. It was a weird play in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Never should have happened, but yeah, I don't know the answers. I mean, I think when he's running, he looks fast. I don't know if he's the same guy. I mean, a hamstring injury could be a factor still.
And when he missed the Giants game, he talked about scar tissue in the hamstring. So it's a recurring injury. I mean, it's not like a one-off. So there could be something to that.
Yeah. Clearly, Jalen's more comfortable throwing to Devontae at this point, I think.
Well, I mean, the numbers say that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Devontae's been incredible. So
don't you have the same takeaway, though? Like, I feel like I should never look at a box score and see 3 targets, 2 catches, 13 yards for A.J. Brown.
Yeah. And I think he caught 11-yarder on the first play or the second play.
Early in the game.
First drive early on that first drive. So he had 1 catch for 2 yards after that. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
And he's the guy that, like, I think there are tangible benefits to keeping him involved for the betterment of the offense and like to get the most out of him.
Yeah, there's no question. And I think Twitter probably likes it when he's not involved because their views go way up. I don't know. I don't know. That's a reach. I'll take that back. Can we edit that out? Yeah, I don't know.
That's what you want to edit out?
I know. I have
all the things you've said today.
You didn't like 23, 3 1/4, but that's all right. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of mystifying. And he had a couple decent games there before the hammy where you thought maybe.
I mean, the Vikings game, he had 121 yards.
Yeah, and the week before, I mean, it was a bad loss, but he had, I think, 85, 87 or something. He looked good. So I don't know what the heck's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a receiver in the first round, April. Wouldn't surprise me.
Do you feel any differently about the 4th and 6 decision?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I feel even stronger. Because it's funny,
I wanted to give you a chance to think about that one.
Well, since I wrote about that play, I really studied it and just watched, I watched it over and over and just watched the whole drive and just the whole situation. And now I feel even stronger than ever because you're giving them, it's like you're giving them 30 yards. Like you're giving them a 30-yard or maybe a 28-yard play. And, at that point, the yardage is the most important thing.
And they had a shot at the end. I mean, I know that was maybe the worst field goal attempt in NFL history.
Well, you don't remember murder leg in joint practices up in Foxborough.
But if you're facing a team with a good kicker.
Yeah, and he's made a 61. I mean, the conditions weren't great. I thought it was a pretty low percentage kick, but just the fact
there shouldn't have been a chance for a field goal there.
And what if they got a few extra yards? It was a kid from Cedar Creek who caught the pass, right?
Bo Melton,
who has converted from corner to wide receiver.
Well, he was always a wide receiver, and then this summer I think they converted him to a corner, but they need receivers now,
so they moved him back to receiver.
Yeah.
He had one bad drop, but yeah, I mean, if he just gets 5 more yards, now it's a 59-yarder, which is long, but I mean, the warm-up kick that he wasn't supposed to take would have been good from 59 yards. So
it's funny because I understand why Nick was mad about that. They're not going to throw a flag for delay a game. They're not going to do that.
That's the rule.
They're not going to do that.
They missed a lot of. It was so
They're
funny.
They're definitely not going to throw that flag.
I want to go off topic. I know it's not my nature, but how many times did the Eagles false start and it didn't get called? And then the Packers kid, the left guard false starts.
Well, the talk about how difficult the tush push is to officiate has zero to do with the push. Like
Yes.
it's I just can't believe how stupid everyone is when it comes to the tush push.
Yeah.
It has nothing to like that it's before the push happens. It's
Yes.
just a quarterback sneak.
Yes.
Like the Eagles did not invent the QB sneak.
No.
I don't get it.
Yeah. People are just they're grasping at straws, trying to find a reason to ban this play because they don't like it.
And all they're going to ban is the push element, which isn't the part that's hard to officiate.
Right.
I just don't get it.
I think they're letting these penalties accumulate intentionally so they have more fodder to get rid of it.
Maybe it's very weird to me.
It is. I mean, the one Tyler Steen was. I mean, it wasn't even close.
I mean, Landon was.
Oh, the Landon one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Like they should call those,
Yeah.
but like I don't know
Why
why
don't they?
that's difficult to call.
And why don't they?
I don't know. Like
What are they looking at? You have one job.
and you're on the line. You're watching for that.
Yes.
It's like it's a confined area. You don't have like a bunch of grass to cover.
You
It's
don't have to
right
run
there.
70 yards down the field.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me.
It is. Yeah.
And I know they have a tough job, but like it's the job.
Yeah. And if it's too tough to officiate, just get better officials.
Yeah. And I agree with you. By the way, I would have punted.
Yeah.
I don't think I feel quite as strongly as you that like
About Braidman's ability to drop it inside.
no. Just about like punt versus go for it.
Okay.
I agree that I would have punted it. I understand going for it. I don't like it. I understand
And
it.
I also think there's different levels of going for it. And I think like, and Nick was talking about like, we've had fourth and 8s before, or 4th and 10s where we got a touchdown. But like the risk reward wasn't the same in those situations.
Yeah, and sometimes like I don't know.
And they were all in the first half.
Yeah, so his thing is like he gives us these anecdotes, like his anecdotal evidence, and I don't know if like those are the reasons he's doing what he's doing, or if that's his way to try to explain it after the fact.
Yeah.
If that's his reasoning for doing it, that's not great.
No.
Because like situations are not created equal. And just because it worked once doesn't mean it was the right play then, and it doesn't mean you should do it again. And it's worth noting like the public analytics models out there were pretty strong in favor of punting there. A lot of people think analytics is all aggressiveness and going for it. No, like sometimes there are situations where you're supposed to
Sure.
get special teams involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just thought the circumstances, like it doesn't mean I don't like being aggressive at times when it's the right time. Every single 4th down completion that Jalen's had in a game where the Eagles were leading has been in the first half. Like since there was one in 2020 when Doug was his coach, but it just didn't add up. It didn't make sense. And yeah, it bothers me even more because I mean, Braidman, I'm pretty confident. I mean, he's a long distance punter, but I think he can pooch one. I would think. What were they on the 36?
Yeah, and even if it's a 15-yard difference, it's probably
Yeah,
still worth it, even if it's a
absolutely.
touchback.
If it's a touchback, it's a 16-yard gain in yard. You're making them, and you saw how much trouble they had just getting to midfield. I couldn't agree more. And he could. Who knows? He could drop it down on the 4-yard line.
He could.
And now they probably get a safety.
The other part of it is it's probably not a good sign that their highest percentage play is just a 9 route to AJ over the top.
Yeah.
Like that to me speaks to a different problem where they're not able to scheme their good players open in crucial moments. Like I understand that that's probably a higher percentage play with that player than most, but still not a high percentage play to just chuck it down the field like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I asked Nick at the end of his press conference. It's like, I understand that it's worked at times, but I don't know. It seems like a lower percentage play than you'd like in that situation to try to ice a game.
Yeah. There's layers of 4th down plays.
Yeah.
There are 4th down plays that are higher percentage than that. Yeah. So if you're going to go for it, yeah, make it a play that's got a 30% chance to work instead of a 9% chance.
Any other thoughts that have been lingering?
No, nothing lingering.
Okay,
We do a podcast every 12 hours. How can there be anything lingering?
that's fair. I want to take a break.
Yes.
Uh,
What do you want to do after the break?
when we come back from the break, I figured we'd answer some questions.
I like that idea.
Let's do that.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Back on the Eagle Eye podcast brought to you by Nissan, Reuben Frank and Dave Zangaro. Eagle Eye at NBCUni.com. That's where you can send your questions, comments, concerns, reviews. No, don't send reviews there. Review us.
Concerns?
Oh, yeah, we have some concerns from people. The QR code's on the screen. We'll leave it up there for the rest of the show. First one today comes from Mick, and this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Dave and Rube, after a great defensive performance in a difficult environment, why start with complaining about the offense? Once again, they found a way to win, this time with clutch defense.
Yeah, it was interesting because we sat down to plan the pod. Well, we sat down 1,000 miles apart from each other, but we were going to start with the defense. That was our plan, but we just started talking about the offense and we just went with it. So,
yeah.
And it doesn't mean it's like, that's just where we started. We spent a lot of time on the defense too.
Mm-hmm. And I understand if last year has changed the way you view this team, because these are a lot of the same concerns we had about the offense in 2024. Like, I guess there are maybe more this year because they're not running the football effectively either.
Yeah.
At least last year was just about one element of the team, and the offense was like the passing offense wasn't there. At least they could hang their hat on the run. They don't have that this year. But ultimately, it didn't matter in 2024. When they needed to, their players showed up, their star power won out, and they won the damn Super Bowl. But I think we're highlighting the concerns because this is a team that has that potential, and like the stakes are so high, the expectations are so high that like we're not talking about can they squeak out a win in November. It's about, is this team gonna come out of the NFC? Are they gonna win the Super Bowl? So like I think we're viewing the entire season through that lens, and it's not just about like getting and like we talked about, like the win is better to get it than to not get it, but this team has bigger aspirations than that.
Yeah, and I know just from being out and about today, I mean, I got people that wanted to talk to me about the Eagles were talking about the offense. It wasn't, and I think everybody appreciates what the defense did and where they're going and Vic and all that, but people are really concerned, and rightly so, about the offense. So I think it was a valid place to start, and I think we did a good job covering both bases.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the offense right now could be the thing that holds them back from winning a Super Bowl. And the frustrating part about it is that it's not for lack of talent.
Yeah.
You know, like I think if they were out there with the Packers receivers yesterday, you go, okay, well, you know, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
But they don't have that issue. I know they've been a little banged up on the offensive line, but this is a talented team, and they're just not getting it done. What does Jalen say about it? What's his phrasing? It's not about.
Not sure.
Okay.
Did he say something last night you were referring to?
He says it a lot. Basically, it's. I'm gonna find it because this is gonna annoy me if I don't find it. It's not a capability thing. He said that. He says that a bunch. It's not a capability thing, and I agree with him. They are capable in terms of pure talent. It feels like sometimes the offense is too dependent on that pure talent.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question. No question about it. And if you told me a team with Super Bowl MVP quarterback, two, top, I don't know, whatever, top 10 receivers in the NFC, got record-setting running back, 4 Pro Bowlers on an offensive line. I mean, a top 5, top 8 tight end. Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse for this.
Totally agree.
And 10 points ain't going to get it done against the Lions.
Dennis. Hey guys, Dennis in Tokyo from Bucks County here again. Love the
Oh,
pod.
nice.
Some people are calling the offensive approach conservative. I'm calling it cowardly. The end of the first half versus Green Bay, how do you turtle up like that? With the field position they had, even the fourth down play with 0 seconds left in the end, instead of just throwing it out of bounds, why not just try a Hail Mary? Like, just try. Are they afraid of a 100-yard pick six? They had multiple third and longs and just called draws, etc. A big 3rd and 12 on the first drive of the second half, and they run it? Is this Patullo? Is this Nick dictating what they do? Whatever it is, it's not conservative, it's cowardice, and it needs to stop.
Just saw Kate Scott go by. I guess the Sixers play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw that out there. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think there's specific plays. I mean, cowards draw. That's the word that we see that pop up with this offensive staff. You know,
We talked about the end of game. What did you make of the end of half sequence?
that seemed to me like, and they were close to midfield, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed like this is the kind of game where we just don't want to turn it over. We don't want to take any risks. We don't want to take any chances. Let's see. They had 1st and 10 on 35. Yeah, Jalen took off to the left and got 4 yards. There was only 16. There was only 23 seconds left. That's when their guard got hurt, right? I think on that play. And then the 3rd and 6 was a coward's draw to Shipley.
Yeah, that was like, we want to go into the half.
Yeah.
And then Green Bay called a timeout, and then they just burnt that time.
Yeah, Jalen rolled out and then just chucked it in the air to run up the clock. Yeah, I didn't love that. I mean,
and they've been in that situation before, and it feels like, man, we kind of stink on offense. Let's regroup at halftime.
yeah.
But sometimes those situations we've seen kind of get them out of funks, like going into a 2-minute, getting in, like the need to be in hurry up. And I understand there's not like 2 minutes there. You have what,
23 seconds.
23 seconds. It's
Yeah.
not a lot.
Yeah.
But if you can sneak out a field goal or at least get an attempt, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree.
And a game where like points are at a premium, you don't want to just give up possessions like that.
Yeah, you also don't want to put your quarterback like in jeopardy of. I mean, to do a Hail Mary, I mean, the quarterback's got to stand there for a while. Jalen gets sacked, fumbles. I don't know.
I guess, but they're probably not rushing more than 4.
Probably.
They're probably rushing 3.
That one
dropping
didn't
8.
bother me. 23 seconds left. The way the offense was going, the way the game was being played, I could see let's just get into the locker
But
room.
why? Like, what's the fear? A
I
turnover?
guess of a turnover, yeah. Or you get a holding, and I don't know. I don't think Nick had a great grasp of what the clock was doing at that point. I mean, because they were in a position where, with 4 seconds left, I mean, or 5 seconds left, at that point, your chances of making a play are pretty slim. But 11 seconds on your own 39. I mean, where do you have to get the ball to get into Jake's range? The 37?
Or at least into a Hail Mary range, right? Like,
That's only 24 yards. So, how many timeouts did the Eagles have? They had one left, right? Let's see. They had at least one left. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see a little more in that situation, but that one doesn't drive me crazy like the end of the game.
okay. It's just not ideal that end of both halves, there are questions about
It's not Nick's
the way
strong point. Yeah.
But like, not to be this guy, but like,
Yeah.
shouldn't it be?
It should. And and there should be somebody upstairs who's, like just got it all figured out. And
Sometimes I think that'd be better just handing it over to the numbers. Hand every decision over to the numbers. At least there's a reason, more than your gut or anecdotal evidence of something that's worked in the past.
it might be an improvement.
From Brandon. A few weeks ago, I basically asked you guys how much winning Super Bowls helps a receiver's chances of getting in the Hall of Fame, and Rube said not much. This is why I asked. I think we're going to lose AJ. He was on a Hall of Fame pace. Now he's not, but he got the ring.
Okay. What's the question? Or was it just an observation?
It was more of an observation.
Um, I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me look at AJ here. 5,000-yard seasons. He's 28. I mean, it's hard for wide receivers.
Really hard.
Some of the numbers are crazy. I mean, Henry Ellard's not in. Guy had like huge numbers. I don't understand. We talked about AJ. I don't really understand what's going on, why it's going on. I'm not completely confident he's physically the player he was, in 23, which is his huge year. Well, 22 and 23, both huge years. He was pretty
Yeah, the
close to
two
that.
biggest receiving seasons in Eagles history.
Yeah, he did. And then he was really good last. I mean, he averaged 16 yards a catch last year. I don't know. It's kind of mystifying.
But like it comes off of him entering the season talking about wanting to put a stamp on being the best receiver in the league, and like the way you do that is with numbers. It just is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And like receivers care about numbers. They all do.
I just don't know if physically he's the same guy. I don't know that. Maybe he is, but I think there's
Yeah, but so the comment's not really about like why is he not involved? It's about are they going to lose him because of
well, I
this?
think if they lose him, they're convinced he's not physically the same guy. I mean, I think those two things are connected.
Well, I think in terms of like if they lose him, if he just decides I can't do it anymore.
Oh, just lose him as far as
Mhm.
I mean,
Like obviously he's under team control. They would have to trade him in the offseason.
yeah, I get it. I think you say a lot of things about AJ, but he's a pro, and I would expect the effort to be there. But although you can make a case that it wasn't on that last play to the level it should have been, I just don't know. It's a weird situation.
I mean, if things continue like this, and we have a long way to go in the season, but if he continues to be a non-factor like this, I can see him in the offseason be like, I want out.
Oh yeah. Although it would come in the form of a Bible verse in a tweet.
The next one is from Tristan. Ahoy, gentlemen. It seems every draft for years I've wanted to draft Lane's replacement to groom as he ages and battles injuries. Nothing against Big Fred. On top of Dickerson and Jurgens banged up, it looks hard to win with this O-line. I believe that could be why they run all the cowards draws, which I fundamentally disagree with. At what point is Kevin coaching for his job? Who would be the top OC candidate to replace him? This season looks grim and hard to enjoy outside of being champs. Bonus question: do you guys enjoy mulled wine?
I don't know how 7-2 can be hard to watch. I don't get that.
Yeah, they've won a lot of games. They've won in Lambeau. They've won in Raymond James Stadium. They won in Arrowhead. They're winning a lot.
They win a lot of games. They're 7-2. They share the best record in the conference. If the season ended now, which it's not, they'd be the number one seed. I don't know. I think they're fun to watch. They drive you crazy with their inconsistency. But every team is dealing with something. I mean, there's a reason nobody's got one loss or undefeated.
Yeah, you look around the league, it's a lot of good teams losing to bad teams.
Yeah.
Or teams we think are good losing to teams we think are bad.
The last couple of weeks, especially. I mean,
we saw in the bye week.
Yeah.
Packers and Lions lose.
Packers lose to the Panthers. And I mean, like the Bills get killed by the Dolphins. I mean, so like every team has issues. Like I think there's a tendency to think the Eagles are the only team that has issues because we pay such close attention to them.
We're in a silo sometimes.
Yeah, but like to be 7-2 with the problems they've had is amazing. I mean, there's a lot to like about this team. So, I mean, I feel bad if you can't enjoy watching this team because I think they're fun.
Yeah, and as far as Kevin coaching for his job, they're not gonna like fire him mid-season. Maybe they take away play calling. I don't know if they have a an option in house that would be
Scott Leffler would
good.
be the only guy.
Leffler. I don't know if Parks Frazier will be ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Michaels done it. But
Just tell Jalen to do it.
I like that idea. He could do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think sometimes he already does.
Well, he might.
The bonus question: do you enjoy mulled wine? I don't know if I know what that is.
Mold wine. I don't know. What an odd question to ask. Like mulled wine, MULLED.
What is it?
It's a warm spiced cocktail made by heating red or white wine with spices like cinnamon, cloves, and along with a citrus and a sweetener.
Oh, that sounds nice. Sounds like a holiday type. Once it gets cold.
Brandy and other spirits are often added for extra warmth and flavor. I think I'll just stick to my unsweetened fresh brewed iced tea.
Okay. From Shane. Hey, Dave and Rube.
Oh, is this from Indianapolis? Shane in Indianapolis.
I love the pod and listen anytime. Oh, I love the pod and listen anytime I see a new episode drop.
Thank you.
Best in-depth Eagles podcast out there, bar none. My question is, what is going on with how this team is treating... Oh, this is another AJ question. I don't know if I want to do another AJ question.
No, let's just... Sorry.
Shane, we appreciate the question. I think we're a little AJ'd out at this point in the pod. I want to get in one more, though.
All right.
And this is a good way to end because this is a mea culpa for us. Hey, Dave and Rube, big fan of the pod. Just wanted to make note that Xavier Gibson made a very heads-up play trying to return the punt that was down to the 2. By the rules, after a player from the punting team touches the ball, the worst-case scenario for the offense is getting the ball at the spot of the touch. There was no risk of a fumble or negative yards. That is true.
Interesting.
Yeah. I realized that after we recorded the pod and we were like, what is he doing? Well, it was a heads-up play.
Interesting.
Yeah, he can't fumble. It's basically a free return.
It's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've seen plays like that pop up, and I should have been on that better, but...
Disappointed in you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect me to know that, but I expect you to know that.
Yeah. And it's funny thing is, like, it is something I think I know, and then
it was also 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that while you were in Wisconsin, you didn't make a pilgrimage out to Whitefish Bay, where the Edmund Fitzgerald went down 50 years ago yesterday.
I didn't have a lot of time out there.
There's open roads in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I ate some cheese curds.
Did you? Did you go back to that burger place in
I
Appleton?
didn't. No, I didn't go there. I actually went with a couple of colleagues, went into downtown Green Bay.
Okay.
Saw that, and then had a bunch of time left over.
There's not a lot to see.
No, but it was, it's fun to be around the stadium. A bunch of Eagles fans checking out. I talked to a bunch of Eagles fans who went to the Packers Hall of Fame, which is a really cool museum.
It is.
They got a chance. They were doing tours at Lambeau the day before the game, so they got a chance to see it before the actual game. It's a cool spot. If you ever have a chance to go, I would say go once.
Yeah, if you ever happen to be in Green Bay or any part of...
If you happen to be...
any part of eastern Wisconsin, I guess northeastern Wisconsin.
If it was warmer, I wanted to drive up to Door County. It's supposed to be a beautiful area, but it was a little too cold for that.
Door County. What's there?
It's like the little, jets out the peninsula. Great Lakes on either side. Don't ask me which ones.
Probably, well, Superior probably. And would it be Huron up there?
I don't know. One of the lakes.
2
of the lakes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It looks cool in the summer. Maybe not once winter starts to kick.
Well, maybe the Eagles have a preseason game out there.
Very possible. If you have a question for us, eagle@nbcuni.com. If you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, you know what to do. Please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button, subscribe there as well. Rube, any final thoughts?
Are we going to do another pod in 12 hours?
I hope not. I need to sleep at some point.
Dave needs sleep. Yeah. No, let's... we'll be back to NovaCare tomorrow and back to practice. Short week. Very good opponent coming in. It's going to be a fun week.
Yeah, Eagles 2.5-point favorites early against the Lions. We'll get into that matchup later in the week. Reuben, Frank, I'm
19th
Dave.
straight home game they've been favored, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. So you did have something to that.
Well, just because you brought up the the point spread.
Hmm.
I thought I'd add that. I wasn't going to.
Okay. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.